I'm just going to leave it to keep going, so you might as well just get started when you are, when you're ready.
I got something stuck in my teeth.
That's going in.
That's how you got to start it.
God, what is this, Seinfeld?
I wish.
The podcast about nothing.
Fuck yeah.
No, that would be the RetroWare TV podcast.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And now, from the bowels of the internet, it's the Hate-Bit Podcast.
Happy October and welcome to the Hate-Bit Podcast. I'm Yellkaos. Joining me as always, the astonishing Alpha Omega Sin.
Hello there. Nothing
No,
clever.
It's
this time.
falafel Omega Sin.
Oh yeah, I am falafel Omega Sin today. So we'll go with that one. So falafel, and if you can't spell it, just Google it because you know damn well you don't know how to spell it.
Stunning Sainted Magnus.
Waffles.
That's too close to falafel. I actually think I call copyright right
Are
now.
you going to file a grievance?
I will. I have the paperwork ready.
Okay.
I've been watching.
I've got my army of lawyers.
Well, we'll process it right after the show.
Oh.
Anyway, we're also joined by Grand National World Heavyweight Woman Throwing Champion 2001 to 2004, Razor Fist.
It's razor dust. Get it right.
I beg
Or
your
rather, it's
Put that cocaine down.
razor dust.
Everybody quiver in your pants like me.
And if you didn't know, we're joined by a special guest today, Angry Beard Magazine's Man of the Year. Silent Rob.
What's up, bitches?
Rob,
Yeah.
you know it's your second
I don't
time
know.
here on the show. How you doing?
I had to cut the beard, man. Like the beard, it started getting like a mind of its own, you know. It started fucking with me. I had to get rid of it, man.
Was it like in Idle Hands? It was like trying to kill other people?
Exactly.
I like that idea.
He's lost his powers.
Anyway, welcome to our show. Got a great big show for you today. We got all kinds of things to talk about. You know, a while back we said how things are bad in the game industry, and as we've got good news, we were right. So,
Yay.
you know, hold on tight because there's a lot going on. We got the Cuntbag for you. We got we got some good news. We got some good news. So don't think we're without that. And we're gonna discuss some not so great news. But anyway, we're gonna have a discussion right now. Discussion topic. We have to talk about Cliff Bleszinski, who's been pretty prominent in the news over the last few months, last few years, is leaving Epic Games. Now, I don't know the entire story. Has he cited why he's leaving?
He said he's like doing the next step of his career or something like that.
No, he said he's retiring. That's what he said. Well, at least that's the way he made it sound. It sounds like I haven't taken a break the entire time I've been with this company, whatever. So I need a break. It just sounded like he's flat out burned out and he's retiring. That's what it
Well, you got to think, I mean, as much as I'm sick of Gears of War, he's got to be really fucking sick of Gears of War at this point. So,
Oh, man, seriously.
I mean, come on.
But anyone else identifying a pattern here?
Oh, I am. I'm connecting lots of dots for some reason. They're all leading to an unemployment line and off of a sinking ship. It's kind of weird.
That about sums it up.
I'm just noting like a copious, or at the very least, like a growing number of figures who at one time were sort of endemic to the industry. They're just deciding to leave their respective studios for either, I guess, more verdant pastures in their opinion, or just to flat out retire.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, what lifts my ass off the can, like I said, is you can excuse, like, for example, Peter Molyneux leaving Lionhead. Like, he's an older guy. He wants some time off. I don't know, he has to drink some Geritol and watch some Lawrence Welk or some shit. That's a perfectly valid, like, palliative measure.
And warm milk before bed.
Right? And Ray Muzaika, Greg Zishuk, like, okay, we're getting younger now, but it's nothing to be alarmed over. They've been slaving away in the fucking EA salt mines. I don't envy them at all. But Cliff fucking Bleszinski? Like, this dude's in his mid-30s and he's throwing in the fucking towel? Folks, this industry is exquisitely fucked. I think we have to acknowledge that at this point.
It is, man. I mean,
I think it's exquisitely vain as well.
I mean, with all these like developers closing down and like, you know, like it sucks for these new developers, all these people trying to get jobs. It's like, who wants to work in a games industry where you don't know if you're going to have a job after you release a game? You know, like you'd be on a studio, release one fucking game, and then that's it, and you're out of a fucking job. And you know, like it's such a turbulent industry to be in.
Well, and that's the scariest part is that there's just all this bad financial news, so everyone's going to throw in the towel and not stick around and see maybe, I don't know, maybe save this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like no one's making any sort of fucking effort at all.
Well, look at Team Bondi last year. They released one game. Released it on
Good
one
game.
of the
Good game.
They released one of the biggest games of last year, which is technologically amazing on no matter what system you play it on.
Yeah.
And Rockstar didn't save them when they were going down under.
Yeah, out of spite too, to a large degree.
Oh,
Out
no.
of spite. Like there was so much just backstage, fucking backroom political bullshit going on at the time. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. The industry is doing themselves in. They're doing it themselves. They refused to heed the captain's warnings, and now they slammed headlong into a fucking recession-shaped iceberg. You know? And this is just what we're looking at here is just the rats leaping from the deck of the Titanic. I guess somewhere Billy Zane is under the deck somewhere being incredibly tan. I don't know where I was going with this analogy. To be frank, I don't know where I was heading with this analogy, but if we didn't see more of this in the coming months, I'd die of fucking surprise.
The thing is, this is an industry that's expectant of success. I mean, how many times did, before this current generation got into full swing, did they say that it was recession-proof? Do you realize how ballsy that is to say, that you will always turn a profit and that you will never dip into the red? That is...
Yeah, seriously, you gotta have balls the size of Alpha Centauri. Like,
absolutely, you do, and that's what blows my mind. Is like, I mean, these very well known, well revered figures within game development history are now going and turning and just fucking leaving. And what does that say to all the up and comers? Whenever all the people that are that big are leaving, what does that tell them? Like, well, is this worth doing anymore? Because let's be realistic, as much as it is a passion of ours, as a passion of the people who develop it and publish it and work their asses off on it, at the end of the day, for them, this is something that they're doing to be able to earn a living. And if you can't earn a living at it, then the product doesn't get made. When the product doesn't get made, there's nothing for us to go and really want to talk about and chat about. And when there's nothing like that, then you're not going to be able to get new ideas out there. When you don't get new ideas, you just get Call of Duty clones every single fucking day.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
I think that what's really I'm sorry, Rob, didn't mean to cut you off, but I think what's really missing from this, aside from the message that it sends to future generations of software developing and so on, it really goes to show that what a lot of the detractors, this podcast included, had to say was how these people don't care. They're not interested in the product they're putting out. They're interested in getting a fucking paycheck, and now the paychecks are getting smaller, and they're fucking cashing out. They didn't care about the product. They showed up to a job, and that is all.
Exactly. I see it as a lose-lose situation. People bitch and complain all the time that the industry is just full of sequels. There's nothing original out there. But when games like Kingdoms of Amalur come out, or fucking L.A. Noire, and then the fucking studio shut down immediately afterwards, that's not a good signal sending out to anybody.
That's just it. Like it seems like the only people who can make new IPs and like get away with it are these huge companies, and they're terrified to do it. Like, the first one I remember in a long-ass time from a big company is Capcom with Dragon's Dogma. And, like, that game, a lot of people like it. I didn't think it was that amazing. It had some potential, but I feel like it was kind of unfulfilled potential. But, like, that's one. In how long? Like, what can you think of before that came out from a big AAA, like, development company or a big publisher or a big fucking developer that was brand new? Because we've been in fucking the sequel maelstrom for the last fucking 5 years at least.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at Square Enix. I mean, they got their heads so fucking far up their asses that we're on like Final Fantasy 13, 14 now, and like fucking.
Yeah, no, I think we're actually on Final Fantasy Pi.
It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, instead of It's like they're gonna make a sequel. They're gonna make 2 sequels to a game that nobody even liked in the fucking first place.
Oh no.
And it's like, instead of making a fucking original game, an original IP, that they would rather milk this Final Fantasy 13 until there's absolutely nothing left.
Well,
And it's
you
like,
know, what's also fucked up about it is the few games that have been out there that are, pretty unique or even mustered a decent fan following. When their sales come through, across the board, and they don't reach 4 or 5 million. There's people automatically just calling it a fucking failure, an abysmal failure that wasn't capable of turning a profit. And last time I checked, I mean, selling even 500,000 to me is a whole fucking bunch. I mean, that's 500,000 people that sat down and enjoyed your product, through and through, enough to be able to fucking cough up $60 or whatever fucking amount that is where you're living. And that's the thing is, for these studios now, it's like, well, if you cannot guarantee, and this is publishers, if you cannot guarantee us a game that's going to sell 3 million units, across the board within 1 month's time, it's not worth our fucking time. What does that say to you when you're really trying to do something awesome? I mean, not every game is going to reach that kind of plateau. It's fucking difficult. It's really hard. And it fucking sucks for us as consumers and gamers, because we want those kind of games. We want variety, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
It seems, as Razorfist mentioned before, we've been in that sequel maelstrom for so long that people just expect sequels now. There's just no imagination anywhere in the gaming industry at the moment, in my opinion.
Well, that, and there's also this unhealthy focus on, finance, the fiscal aspect of the business. There's far too many people interested in this thing making millions upon, millions of dollars, rather than a decent product that made some money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the whole groundbreaking concept only comes around once in a while, to where to smash hits only come around once in a while.
Yeah.
And, it seems that there's, as was just depicted earlier, that there's just this expectance that everything needs to be huger than life at all times. And you eventually tire of that, much like people have tired of it now.
Yeah, there's a glass ceiling. They don't fucking realize that, but there's a glass ceiling. You are not going to shoot for an infinite fucking sky. It does not exist. There is no such thing. You will eventually hit that glass ceiling, and you're going to have to be realistic about it. There's only so many people on the planet. Only so many of them are going to be interested in your product, assuming that they're aware that your product exists whenever you fucking release it. But the one thing that I want to toss out there, just out of random curiosity, and this is completely theoretical, keep in mind, but just imagine, let's say, for sake of argument, that the entire industry 180s, and it's a booming fucking success again. I'm talking every title, including the ones that you're really, are just completely fucking financial success stories and then some. Well, the people that are jumping ship right now, would you guys genuinely see them come scurrying back saying, oh, well, I have a burning passion again and I want to relive it. Oh, I had some ideas. Gaming was calling me again and I had to go and answer that call. Would you see that happening, or do you think that they would stay true?
I absolutely see it, and it will have all the authenticity and genuine goodness of a fucking Kiss reunion. Bunch of bitter fucks to say, hey, wait a minute, you guys got money again? Hold my calls, I'll be right back.
Set off the pyro. I have to go cash some checks.
Absolutely, I would not be surprised in the slightest. And that says something. And of course, thanks to the way information moves so quickly now and technology changes, people will forget about this in a couple of weeks. In fact, a lot of people will probably forget that Cliff Bleszinski ever left.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people are still going to call him and ask him what he thinks. Who gives a fuck what this guy thinks? But they're going to call him, and people are going to forget that, oh, yeah, that's right, he's not doing the thing. And then as soon as there's money again, they'll come back. And
in the end, the only people that are hurt is the gamers. It's...
Only the cockroaches will survive.
That's it, man. I mean, there's a Sonic the Hedgehog game released every fucking 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I guess they're never going to finish Shenmue. We're never going to get that fucking ending, because I guess that series doesn't fucking sell enough. And the only people fucking are hurt are the gamers, the true fucking fans that actually know what gaming is all about.
Yeah, and Shenmue is a classic example of the kind of game that can't be made anymore because it was mid-market.
Exactly.
You can't just have a game like Thief the Dark Project that sells well but doesn't sell a gajillion copies. You know what I mean? You can't just because development budgets have climbed so far into the fucking stratosphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh
anyways.
yeah, well that's the thing. We've reached a point where we'll try and wrap this up in just a second, but that's true. As Fist, as you mentioned, the budgets are just fucking out of control. And is it just me, or does it seem like gaming? And this does tie in with certain people leaving because of not bringing in the same money they once did. But how can I phrase this? Is it me but is video gaming the last industry that has not found out that it's time to tighten the belts?
It really is. I mean, you got companies now that are like they're nearing collapse. We talked at length about the big article on notenoughshaders.com about Sony, where they're trying to do belt tightening measures and they're getting big time resistance from their engineers, and it's like. That's a good example of what's kind of going on in the game industry. People, and this is also reflected in all the people leaving these companies. I mean, the guy who left the Old Republic, he's actually the lead designer on Star Wars: The Old Republic at BioWare. He left the company this past week, and he was already for weeks on end as a result of all these staff cuts and whatever. He was already had on his LinkedIn profile that he was actively looking for other opportunities. So he was already looking for a different job. So it was like the minute you start cutting back, everybody starts, crying foul and so forth. So there's no placating these people, essentially.
Exactly, man. I mean, look at the PlayStation Vita. I mean, you basically got Sony on their fucking knees, ready to put a big development dick in their mouth for anybody to release a fucking game on this system. Why would any of these developers do that when they can just release a game on iOS for $5 and sell more and make more money doing that than releasing it on this fucking system? Like there's no reason for them to do so. Like it's just the only people getting hurt is the people that buy this stuff. I
know, motherfucking pocket lint.
Exactly.
The cost of production is fucking out of control. And again, for anybody that's ever just like, oh, you hate on all new stuff and you praise everything of old, I can sum it up for one thing for you. If you weren't around for like back in the day type of shit, the game industry is a completely different beast from when we were growing up to what it is now.
When we were growing up, it wasn't even a fucking industry yet.
Yeah. It wasn't. Video games were still a relatively niche thing, and the industry was completely fucking different. And now it's so fucking far out of control. It's burying itself. And the thing is, us as diehards, and many of you listening, obviously know we're going to be the ones who are left seething and fucking pissed off about this. And well, that's why we've been sitting here discussing this for how many fucking minutes now? Because it sucks, and we don't want to see it happen. So.
Yeah, but on a light note, we never want to end these conversations on a downer. Fuck Cliff Bleszinski. He was a fucking piece of shit, and we don't need him anyway. Good fucking riddance.
Yes.
Yay.
Outstanding capital.
That's just made me happy.
Paramount.
Where did all that British bullshit come back?
We were working on a transatlantic, but it didn't work out quite that way, my boy.
It sounds like it crashed on the Isle of Guernsey.
Anyway, thanks for being such a great sport about it, Sainted Magnus. Anyway,
I know.
You know what it's time for? It's time for the Hate-Bit Cuntbag. Are you guys excited for the Hate-Bit Cuntbag? Every week.
Who's the shameless sponsor this week?
The shameless sponsor this week. Oh, this week the Hate-Bit Cuntbag is brought to you by Alpha Omega Sins Gravy.
It's my gravy.
And it's the only gravy with a beard.
It's the only gravy that can flavor your mashed potatoes from a neighboring state.
not necessarily. protected state.
And then all of a sudden, there's little spuds popping up everywhere. Kind of strange.
That's true.
And you have to pay for those spuds for 18 years. It's awful. No one likes it.
Oh, mashed potato alimony. How is that not the name of a band?
Well, that's when you get the potato masher out, and all of a sudden you don't have to deal with things nearly as much, assuming you hide it well.
So make sure to be on the lookout for Alpha Omega Sing Gravy, available at finer dive bars.
Dude, that's the weirdest fucking analogy I think we've ever come up with so far. Alimony, child murder, and mashed potatoes, all in one fucking pool. That was good. That was good. A+ material.
It was good, but was it capital?
Capital.
So yeah, we got mail coming to us here in the Hate-Bit Cuntbag, and this is brought to us here at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. So if you've got a question, a comment, concern, anything like that, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. Our first piece of mail, I don't know what happened there. Our first piece of mail comes to us at the Gmail box from Anti-Ravik, and Anti-Ravik says, "Good day, fellas."
Good day.
Good night.
Top of the morning to you.
Right?
Capital! He says, I was just wondering, what are some of your favorite video clips / music videos of all time? Simple question.
It doesn't give us. They don't give us simple questions nowadays, do they? They just.
Well, we should be thankful for this one, because we don't get them nearly.
Music videos. Oh, I don't know. Let's throw it to Alpha. What is your favorite music video?
Oh man, I was actually thinking that the entire time. I was like, brainstorm, motherfucker, brainstorm. I will name some. Well, just from one band in particular, because it was on the top of my head, and I was just talking about it because they're fucked up as hell, and they kind of grossed me out when I was little, but I still liked them, and that was the Tool videos. With the PlayStation and everything.
You took mine. Damn it.
Dude, they were just like when you're a little kid and you see this shit, like the way that they like fidget about and they move, like the shit, it was cool looking, but it was fucked up, and like just it was very neat stuff. I don't know, I like those quite a bit. And Guar videos, because they're always really fucking out of hand and goofy.
Fuck you! I was gonna say Guar.
I'm stealing everybody's ideas, and I'm completely apologetic right now.
You're not sorry.
Alpha.
You're not sorry. You wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Well, that goes to show there probably just not that many good videos.
Well, the thing is, a lot of music videos just consist of.
Now I've got to say Madonna or something.
Shit. Like, the bands are going ape shit, and the fucking camera's panning around them. And I like to think of the ones that are just like, there's shit actually going on with them. So those two bands came to mind. So yeah, those will be my picks at the moment, even though they're other people's picks, but still, yes. So
I said, you know what are actually some great music videos are the music videos from Pearl Jam back in the mid-90s, and I'll say the reason for that is if you ever wonder how big a douchebags the guys in Pearl Jam are, the videos show you exactly how big a douchebags the guys in Pearl Jam are, and that's handy shit, Yeah, I'm cold and I have a flannel on.
Fuck the 90s and fuck Pearl Jam.
We're still in the 90s.
Fuck them trying to make a comeback in recent years. Fuck you. It's never gonna happen.
Ever.
Yeah, and you know what? Fuck Mark Wahlberg, because he kind of looked like Eddie Vedder in that piece of shit Rockstar movie.
Fuck Marky Mark anyways.
Yeah.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Speaking of Marky Mark in Rockstar, I'm gonna go with a Judas Priest music video. I like Burn in Hell with Ripper Owens. It's a fucking
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Good music video, and it's heavy as fuck. I also like Motorhead Sacrifice with the fucking there's naked bitches running around, and Lemmy has a skull face, and it's the best lineup of Motorhead. It's the modern lineup with Mickey D and fucking Phil Campbell and Lemmy. I know a lot of people like the classic one, but I think the modern lineup is actually better.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can't leave this one out. Immortal, Blast Shirk, Mighty Raven Dark.
We're in the woods, in the snow.
Have you ever seen this music video? He does a guitar solo while running down a mountain.
Yeah.
He's prancing down the mountain in corpse paint in a leather vest, otherwise shirtless, and he's doing a guitar. It's fucking amazing. It's absolutely the most incredible thing you'll ever see.
What's the one where they're running around through the woods wearing witch hats and shit?
Yeah, oh god, that was from their very first album. I don't know
I can't
why.
remember the fucking song. I remember I would watch it when I was drunk because it always made me laugh, and because it's fucking ridiculous. I'm just glad somebody knows what I'm talking about though, because it's fucking awesome.
No,
for all the wrong reasons though.
You realize that most of those black metal videos, though, were essentially, and even though they didn't know
That's
it,
what
they
it
were
was.
actually
Sorry.
just,
I was
they were
having a
video
brain-
brochures for Norway.
I'm sorry, I totally had a brain fart. It was totally Call of the Winter Moon. That was the one.
Thank you.
Nice.
Good sir.
It's a good song, but man, did they ruin it with the video. Holy crap.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, I heard the song a ton of times before I realized that there was a music video for it. I didn't even believe it. I'm like, really? And I saw it, and I was just like, holy $5 budget. What were you thinking? Like, I saw that shit, and I was like, how did the cameraman keep a straight face the entire time? Like, I would have the camera shaking the entire time because I'd be holding my gut going, I can't fucking take this. I'm dying. So it was good stuff.
I also like Motley Crue Looks That Kill. That's a good, where they're like, Mick Mars does a guitar solo, and then like some half-naked bitch explodes, and there's a pentagram on fire on her boobs. And, like, what the fuck is going on in that video? I don't care, but it's a good song and it's a good album, and that video fucking rules.
Oh, that's like before Motley Crue started completely fucking sucking.
Oh, that's like metal Motley Crue back when they were still a metal band, full on, like, yeah.
That's what I'm all about, man, is the 80s music. My all-time favorite music video is fucking Dio Last in Line. That's...
Hell yeah. Dude, Elevator to Hell.
Fucking some weird fucked up video games people are playing in hell with the fucking devil all watching them and shit. I mean, you look at the cover art to that album, and that music video just fucking captures it beautifully.
Oh, yeah. That's fucking brilliant. And then the dude, like, catches him, and Dio's, like, a freedom fighter, but then Dio is also, like, a dick in the music video. Like,
yeah.
Like, Dio, what the fuck? You're supposed to be the good guy, and he's, like, forcing some kid to play a video game. And, like, what the fuck are you doing, Dio? This game sucks, and it kills people.
And that's why Dio's badass.
Wait, was that a pun? Video?
The Dio.
I thought it was a pun. I was like video. That's what I heard. I was like, man, that was a mega pun. Look at that.
That's like the epic of epic puns.
I mean, dude. I mean, 80s music videos. I can just. I mean, if you can watch Wasp, Wild Child without fucking smiling, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. You know what I mean?
or dude, or I Want to Be Somebody. That's a fucking amazing
God,
game.
yes.
No. You gotta. If you tell Wasp videos, you gotta watch the one Blind in Texas.
Oh
pretty
God.
That's pretty good. I also dig that one. We were talking about Ghoulies last week. What is with this fucking ongoing theme? But Scream Until You Like It.
Oh.
Nice.
I was with that was like a tie-in to Ghoulies 2. Yeah, there was a sequel.
Dude, okay, here, you know
No,
what?
there was 3 sequels.
Wait, there was 3?
There are 4 Ghoulies movies.
Dude, I thought there was only 3. When the fuck did a 4th one hit?
No, there's 3 Critters movies, but 4 Ghoulies movies.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my
I'm
God.
Well, here, if we're going to talk about horror movies, there's one horror movie related music video that I fancy quite a bit, and that's by the motherfucking legend Alice Cooper, and that's He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Friday the 13th. Okay,
Yeah.
Alice Cooper is fucking just rocking out, and then Jason Voorhees shows up and shit, and it's just, dude, it's so fucking cool. One, it's a badass tune. I mean, it's fucking awesome, and it's Alice Cooper and Jason shows up. Like, seriously, Jason Voorhees in an official music video.
No,
That-
and it's even better because it kind of fucks with the continuity. At the beginning of the video, Alice Cooper is talking to his son, and his son is totally Jason Voorhees. And so it's like, Alice Cooper is totally Jason Voorhees' dad.
Dude,
That's-
I would sign up for that in a fucking heartbeat. I'd like, yes. Yes, fucking yes. Just so that he could, like, it would be cool because, you know, whenever it's like, and then all of a sudden it just starts fucking rocking out, and he's just like, you know, he starts fucking headbanging while walking and shit, and he's just hacking people up, and it turns into a mosh pit with body parts. It'd be fucking awesome.
It's actually probably the best Friday the 13th movie, too, so he picked a really good one to actually make the fucking song for.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. It was fucking perfect. I mean, when I found out about it, and what's ironic is the MP3, I shit you not, is sitting, it's actually sitting right on my desktop. Like, I'm looking at my screen. I'm like, wow, there it goes, right beside a Mortal Kombat video for some reason. But, yeah, that makes me very happy. But,
Yes.
yeah, I wanted to mention that one.
So if you go quiet, then we'll know you're listening to that.
Yeah, pretty much. Mute the microphone, just start jamming to him. Like, oh yeah, I'm totally paying attention right now.
Chaos, what some of your favorite videos?
Well, you know, all of them.
What? All of them are super great.
No, I mean,
that's a
no,
late-
I think videos were best when Beavis and Butthead got this shit on them. You know, I was always a big fan of that.
So you like all music videos, so that means Aqua Barbie Girl is on your list. You like that?
You like
Yes,
the Spice Girl
but-
videos too.
Yes, I do.
There's a couple Justin Bieber fucking
Yeah, I like
videos.
Oh,
Rich,
no.
what the fuck up?
Ace
Oh.
of Base, all that she wants. No. No.
Hey,
the
you know what,
fucking
hey,
signs.
hey, you can go off all you want, but you say a goddamn thing about Lionel Richie videos, I will fuck you up.
Lionel
so-
Richie?
Well, I won't say
Oh.
anything about Lionel Richie, but so you're saying that you really do enjoy watching Nicki Minaj in videos.
What's a Nicki
I'll assume
Minaj?
that's
What's
Nicki Minaj is that transvestite that sings or something or talks. I can't tell.
What do you mean?
She's-
Nobody
Sure.
here knows about her. Christ, I
I'm
see her.
sorry, Alpha Omega Son, I'm terribly sorry. I'm old and I'm not very hip, so you'll have
Yeah,
to forgive
Nicki
me.
Oh.
Minaj is a black Lady Gaga with ass implants, is what
Yes.
she is.
I can't get away from her products. Everywhere I go, she seems to be plastered onto something out in public.
Well,
It's really
geez,
weird.
Mine's never to come back east.
Yeah, don't. You'll be saving yourself a lot of
That
pain and
sounds
trouble.
horrible. But
But Sana didn't really talk about too many things. That
Yeah, what
he
the fuck,
makes
man?
because
music
the only
videos.
video he liked is the only video he likes is Prodigy's "Smack My Bitch Up."
No, actually that is one of my favorite videos, but there's actually there's more to the
And
there's
he
more
likes
to the
one-
sainted one than just that. You know, and you just won't listen. So what's the point in telling you? I got you on
Well-
that one. Way.
I was gonna say, but everybody's quiet right now. We're waiting.
Yeah. How about every?
We're waiting for the British tantrum to be over.
Oh, shut up. There is no tantrums this week. I'm actually in a good mood. Yeah. So basically, what I was going to say was all the animated Iron Maiden videos,
Oh,
because you can never get enough of Eddie. That's all I need to say.
You'll have Ed until you're dead.
Exactly.
boss. There's some awesome picture of like a guy. I've been looking for it for years. I mean, there's like probably a million variations of this photo, but it's like Eddie is a big old like mummy and he's charging at like, I don't know, frickin' Steve Murray or Adrian Smith or one of the fucking guitarists. And he's totally fighting Eddie with the power of rock. He's doing a guitar solo at the same time and he's like aiming his fretboard. It's like the most 80s metal photo ever. It's so incredible.
They have some really good videos, but like the only videos they ever really play of Iron Maiden anymore on like TV is the fucking Trooper. That's like the only one you ever fucking see on TV anymore. Is the Trooper.
What TV are
Yeah.
you watching where the video for the Trooper just comes on?
Oh, whenever you watch like if you watch like all like the metal
What
videos.
number is it on Dish Network?
I don't remember.
It's
I try not to watch. I try not to watch TV as much as I can.
Yeah, no, it hurts.
It does.
But yeah, good talk about whatever the hell we were talking about, and we thank you for whoever asked the question. I mean, great topic. Music videos, and then blasphemy was in there somewhere. So we thank you. And we got one more question here before we jump into the rest of the show, and it comes to us at the YouTube inbox. So if you feel like it, drop us a line. The YouTube inbox. It comes from King Mula.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. King Mula says, question for everyone. Favorite blank on a pole match? I think he's, if he's referring to what I think he's referring to, then I'm going to say my favorite was the nightstick on a pole match between the Big Boss Man and Nails at like Survivor Series 92, I think.
I'm gonna go with a Singapore cane match because those were always very amusing, and Singapore canes hurt like shit. So assuming that you're actually shirtless and not just getting hit while you're wearing a shirt. Those fuckers
You're
will split
making
you
it
open.
sound like it's worse than getting hit with a regular cane when I can already imagine getting hit with a regular cane. Pretty goddamn horrible.
Oh yeah, it does, but I don't know. I've seen people actually like split open by them, and I'm like, ugh. Unless they're cheap ones and they don't actually like do it right. So.
Oh well, god damn it. Fist?
I'm gonna go with Judy Bagwell on a pole match. Come on, that was good stuff. That was good stuff.
I laughed, motherfucker.
I just gave you 4.5 out of 5 stars. What the fuck?
I mean, come on. How can you hate Vince Russo? He came up with Buff Bagwell's mom on a pole match. I mean, this is just... Come on. It's just no.
There's
You know
nothing quite like it.
Anytime I think of Buff Bagwell, I just think of that Skinamax movie he showed up in, and the amount of laughter that would not end at my house whenever we saw him. We'd even know he'd be on there. He just showed up, and I was like, holy mother of fuck. That's Buff goddamn Bagwell. And then, like, a couple nights later, we're watching Nitro and just giggling at him in his NWO get-up and being a fucking jobber.
Watch where Goldberg was in that fucking Universal Soldier movie. That's pretty fucking funny, too.
Oh yeah.
That's depressing.
It's pretty fucking funny.
Wait a minute, are you talking about the Megadeth song that just happened to have a movie attached to it?
Oh god,
God.
that song is terrible. Oh man, why did they... Oh, that is like the worst Megadeth song, fortunately. But yeah, that was bad.
I know that was probably one of the worst songs in the history of movies. And I've heard I Disappear, so don't think I'm ill-informed.
Oh, that was rough.
And then you saw the film that were attached to it as well.
So yeah, who else did we all say? I don't know.
Did anybody else want to add in their favorite something on a pole match?
I have no idea what I'd want to stick on a pole. I don't know. Probably kill somebody with a pole.
Unless it's a stripper, I don't really even care.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with.
Which is
No
funny
one would
because
pay attention to that match, though.
Yeah, which is funny because Buff Bagwell is actually originally a male stripper. So.
Oh god.
American males.
Like good,
American males.
I haven't followed wrestling in so long, but like it was a few months ago. I saw WWE live for the first time, and it was like probably one of the most awkward things I've ever experienced in my
Sounds like
life.
you waited way too long to show up to something like that. You should have saw that long ago.
That's what I mean. I totally missed the fucking boat on that for sure. You know, and it was
I
just
imagine
like,
it's awful. I mean, just being around us, like 17,000 people for 5 hours? Sounds awful.
oh, it's something else, man. Like you watch it on TV. You know, you get the commentary, you get the different angles. They make it look not as fake as it does when you see it live. You see it live and you're like, oh, come on, he's not even touching the motherfucker, man. You know, like it's just it's funny, but it's funny in like the wrong ways. You know, but I mean, I still had a good time because I was drunk. But you know, it was so good.
Yeah, this is completely honest. You know, because I was drunk.
Because I was drunk.
Yeah,
I think
you remember everything correctly when you're drunk. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna have to change my answer. I'm going with Fist. Judy Bagwell on a pole. That's. Whew. Anyway, hey, if you didn't know it, we got a show going on here. So let's get our show started. And we thank you for listening to the Hate-Bit Cuntbag. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, drop us a line, hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to like us on the Facebook, because all kinds of fun things go on the Facebook for the Hate-Bit Podcast.
Stripping. Buff Bagwell strips. True.
Yeah, yes. Is that going to be on the Facebook?
Yes, sure. Why not?
Oh, well, I'm not going to be around the Facebook for a while. But anyway, breaking news. Sony is suing Bridgestone and, in effect, Kevin Butler for some reason. For more, we go to Alpha Omega Sin.
Yeah, so, okay, anybody who has a television or just internet in general, because the commercials have showed up there, you've seen Kevin Butler being the poster child for the PlayStation 3 and many of its wares and games and whatnot. And some of the commercials are hit and miss and everything, but in general, he ended up becoming a very iconic spokesperson, similar to Crash Bandicoot during the PS1 era for Sony. Well,
I just like to say you're using the term iconic kind of loosely.
Well, loosely in prostitution vaginal terms, but wait, it's just not as funky on the sides. But yeah. So basically, this guy ended up showing up in the dude that's portraying, Kevin Butler and all that other stuff. He showed up in another commercial, and just so happened that he was playing Mario Kart in this commercial, and Sony didn't like that at all because they're now suing the company Bridgestone, and they're suing the actor who did this, who is an actor. He's doing this for a living, but they're suing him all because he's doing that, because that causes confusion amongst the consumers, because it's like, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be hawking Sony wares and games and consoles and all the other stuff? Why would you be playing a Nintendo product? And the ridiculous level is just absolutely out of control, and everybody feels that they're more than likely going to be settling out of court, since bringing this to court would just get laughed at and be a waste of everybody's fucking time within the judicial system. So
Petty as hell.
Yeah, very much so.
I really wish.
Sad.
It's like
I really wish Bridgestone would come out. I really wish Bridgestone would come out here and just say, you know what? You eat a bowl full of fuck. And
Well,
just leave it at that.
when you're Sony and you can't get money off of your game systems or games, sue somebody, because that's the next best thing.
It's funny too because this is a total money sink and it's going to be thrown right the fuck out.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
totally
way.
petty as hell. It makes them look bad in comparison.
It's stupid, and it's a good fucking example of kind of the only thing they have right now is their advertising campaigns. Like I said, what was it, 2 years ago? The big Sony announcement was that they were going to have a new advertising campaign for you remember that? Marcus PSP? That was going to be the new big fucking thing. And that was like a high point of their fucking presentation at E3.
They were announcing that they had a new way to announce things to you.
Yes!
I'm glad they have so much extra time from not developing Vita games to be able to sue all these people, man. I'm really happy
because
about
content
that.
doesn't matter, right?
Remember, it's only about the hardware. Nobody actually purchases hardware for content. That'd just be silly. You just want an overpowered machine to do nothing.
Exactly. Bingo.
They accomplished it.
Yeah, just like how no one's interested in gasoline or anything either.
Bingo.
You know what? And I had brought this up before the show had started, that this reminds me of way back in the day, the dude that played the character of Johnny Cage within Mortal Kombat 1, like the actual digitized character of Johnny Cage. He showed up in an advertisement for another fighting game that was very similar to Mortal Kombat. It was a fucking blatant ripoff, but regardless, he showed up advertising for this product, and they immediately just fucking went apeshit crazy about it, because they were just like, how dare you, my god, you're supposed to be Johnny Cage, as if this guy did not ever have an identity before that. But yeah, and that turned into a big debacle, and lawsuits out the ass and everything, and nobody was fucking happy. Nobody really won anything. Just made a bunch of people look like dickheads at the end, and it was just fucking awkward. And this is the same exact bullshit. It's nothing but petty, and yeah, Sony should be doing a lot of other things other than suing over a fucking commercial, which didn't really... I mean, is this really hurting Sony's products? No, but to them, yeah, it's a fucking, blow to the ego or some shit.
But this is now.
Oh, yeah.
They've got the most powerful hardware and the hardest criers.
I think what's most damaging to Sony at the moment is Sony themselves, to be fair.
Absolutely.
Because all they seem to do is yeah, we're going to sue you. Why? Because we can.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, I mean, the Sega parallels are just there in spades. Things aren't selling, we talk a bunch of shit. Things aren't selling, we begin to cry. Things get better, we're top of the heap again. Oh, things get sad again, we begin to sue.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the age-old adage. Never take credit when shit goes good, unless you want to have to take the blame when they go south.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And nobody wants the latter, they just want the former.
Well, because for so long they've been surrounded by yes men who stroke them off every single morning to tell them that everything they touch turns to gold, and that's not the case.
Absolutely
it could
not.
be worse. They could be suing over rounded edges like a certain other company. So at least that's not happening.
I know. It's surprised they haven't sued Nintendo over a black console yet.
Wait a minute. Your system uses discs? Lawsuit. You have 4 face buttons. Oh, fuck this. Lawsuit. Shoulder buttons? Oh, hell no, son. Lawsuit. It's fucking
Oh,
ridiculous.
wait. You're making us bad by putting out games, lawsuit. It's a sad state of affairs, but we can't say we're really surprised. But it's not all bad news. Alpha Omegason, I want you to stay on the mic with me for just a moment because you said we had to talk about this. Big news, former Atlus president Shinichi Suzuki has taken over Xseed, publisher Xseed. Is that true?
Correct. Now,
And
keep in mind that that's good news in a lot of ways, because Xseed is a company that has tons of fucking potential, because essentially all it is like, it was like working designs going in, burning up, going into ashes, and then being reborn and turned into Xseed. And for anybody that was like around for a 32-bit generation, and you're a fan of RPGs, you understand that working designs was very important to you. They were an awesome fucking company. Well, Xseed essentially is them. Well, I like to say it's Xseed in like Axis games and everything, but that's another story. But yeah, so you got a leader who essentially has his shit together. Because let's be fair, anybody worth their salt within the fucking genre of RPGs knows of Atlus and fucking reveres them for all the good that they have done and all the stuff that they've brought over here that normally we wouldn't have seen over, in English-speaking countries. Well, him leading them, I just hope that they start getting more mainstream games, because as much as I like Xseed, they've prominently just been like stuck with handhelds and whatnot. I want to see them doing a lot of like big budget console stuff. I understand they did stuff on PS2, but it was very under the radar, very niche and everything. I want to see them just like blasting off some fucking turn-based RPGs that we normally wouldn't be getting, but now have the opportunity to. So hopefully that happens under his leadership. So thumbs up for this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay,
it's
more.
always nice to get good news.
It's
Yay,
some news in the games industry.
It needs something a little positive. Yes, I'm gushing quite a bit about it, but I don't know. I'd like to think that something positive could come of it. Because,
Wait. Do you hear that? I think I hear Razorfist being unimpressed.
Razor
Yeah.
Fist, shit on it.
Yay!
Is that the case, Sir Fist?
Just what Japan needs, more turn-based RPGs. Yay!
Hey, okay, to be fair, on consoles, we really don't have any right now. And I actually like turn-based RPGs. Call me fucking crazy, but that's what I grew up
on. Turn-based RPGs, fucking the Final Fantasy 13 games are all turn-based.
Okay, no, they're not turn-based. That is a fucking lie, and you know it.
Yeah,
they are.
You have to saying that. It is auto-fire.
You have to wait for your silly meter to charge, and then you get to attack. It's the same as Final Fantasy 7. If Final Fantasy 7 is turn-based, then so is 13.
I don't know.
It's just you don't really take turns because you can't control anybody aside from one person. That's why it doesn't feel turn-based. Because it's really more of a, okay, I can control this person. They just attack really slow. You know what I mean? So it's totally turn-based. Or like, I mean, I don't know. In the relatively recent past, there's the last remnant and Infinite Undiscovery. And like there are turn-based games, and isn't Persona turn-based? I don't. Anyways, but yeah, I
Persona games are, but we haven't had one this console generation, unless you count all the ports and everything on handhelds. But I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for Persona 5. I don't know why the fuck it won't happen.
Yeah, I think 4 was the last one.
Yeah, they made
understood why they cling so desperately to the turn-based formula. Is like okay, everybody takes turns in Dungeons and Dragons just because there has to be some form of organization, but really the ideal is that everybody would do everything in real time if there were some way to keep it fucking organized. But Japan,
it's that culture, man. I mean, you're talking about a country who shuts fucking down when a Dragon Quest game gets released. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very much so.
It's ridiculous.
You're talking about a country that gave all its money to a Space Invaders machine, and they didn't have any more money because they gave it all to the machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they actually schedule like school around Dragon Quest being released. I always thought that was kind of neat. I was just like, wow, it is that big of a deal. That or, Pokemon. Those two things. Oh, and Monster Hunter. I'm sorry. Those things right there. You combine those things together all on the same exact date. I'm pretty sure Japan would implode if they new titles for each one of those franchises released on the same day. It would just be it would be a fucking mass riot. Nobody could control
Yeah, well, we're not that far off. Sit back. In a couple of years, if things get any worse, people are going to start scheduling school around Justin Bieber releases.
Oh, don't talk about
Don't mention Justin Bieber. No.
I only recently found out what Justin Bieber is, and it's the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I'll find out eventually. I understand that noises come out of it on CDs.
He starts.
There's a pretty good video of him online puking on stage.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Shit.
You shouldn't ever trust a singer that is nothing but auto-tune and takes all of his hairdressing fucking accolades from Ellen DeGeneres. It just doesn't work out well at the end of the day.
Not only that,
you know how sometimes when you taste the hairspray, he was actually drinking it.
Yeah, pretty much. A little too much.
Now, if only you would drink the Barbicide. Anyway.
All that jar of
Tommy
cyanide.
Timmer drank the Barbicide, you'd know.
Or the cyanide. You can try that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Right on.
Right
Yeah.
on.
So, apparently Atlus loses the president and they game one over at Xseed. You'd never have any idea that's what we were talking about had I not just told you. But we thank you for following along anyway. And it's time for the Sainted Magnus. Sainted Magnus, now you told me that there's a Metal Gear Solid Revengeance box set coming out. What's that all about, man?
Yeah, they just, it was last week they announced that they were doing a Zone of the Enders HD Collector's Edition, and they also at the same time announced a Metal Gear Revengeance fucking box set. And it comes with, this is quoted, it comes with the game, soundtrack, an art book, and it also comes with this is what they've actually put down, high frequency plasma lamp. It's a desk lamp. It's a fucking desk lamp in a collector's edition. Now, I'm guessing it's one of those bloody plasma lamps where you put your finger on and it looks like it's electrocuting your hands or whatever. I just don't see the point on, giving us one of them in a collector's edition, because where are you going to put it?
It goes something like this. English-speaking audiences are fucking stupid.
YouTube's full of them.
But that's what it seems like. It's like the Japanese making fun of whoever's going to buy this.
Ha ha ha, you're fucking idiots.
Once this cheap-ass lamp starts burning down houses, and then we'll see the outcome of that. I can only imagine the how the quality build that's going to be on this lamp.
Oh no. Considering what the last collector's editions are all about.
If Raiden is just tearing through a bunch of gigantic mechs and cyborgs and people and everything, just imagine what he'll do to your electrical socket and soon your home and your insurance cost. Great.
I don't want to cause any more bad news or anything, but what the fuck is with all these box sets? Who are these for? Apparently they're for retards. I've gathered that.
Hey, I buy collector's editions, you son of a bitch.
Then you would be the perfect person to explain this. Saint Magnus, tell me about some of your pride and joy as box sets. What good box sets do you have?
Recently I got the Borderlands 2 one, which isn't actually that bad. There was one released by Capcom, believe it or not, for the 25th anniversary of Street Fighter, which came with an 11-disc soundtrack, all the download games off PSN of all the Street Fighters that they've released on there, plus Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I know they're not the greatest of games, but still, it's commemorative. Also had all the anime films and the actual anime series of Street Fighter. What else does it come with? It comes with a statue of Ryu doing the Dragon Punch.
And that thing looks really cool, plus it lights up.
Yeah.
Plus it lights up. And also you got a gi belt thing, a black belt from Street Fighter with it. It's got all the all the Japanese symbols embroidered on it, and that's actually a good example of what a good collector's edition is. An example of a bad collector's edition is which one could I say?
One that includes a plasma lamp.
One that includes a plasma lamp. No, I've got the perfect one, and that was the Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2 collector's edition. It came with a steel tin and a memory stick with pictures and videos on it. That's it.
Wait. What?
Stuff you could download off the internet.
But hey, we downloaded something for you.
And we stuck it on a memory stick that looks like it looks like Starkiller, and you can you can plug it in your PC and you can look at all this shit. You can't print it off. You can look at it though. I'm like,
that's how much we like you. We didn't even bother to print this shit. Here you go. Print it yourself, fag.
Exactly.
Yeah, I made the mistake of getting the Dark Souls box set because I guess you got it for free if you pre-ordered it or whatever, and that was like, that's a plain and simple example of just a piss poor, pathetic ass box set. That thing. I actually wish I didn't get it because it's so.
I hate collect. I've moved away from getting collector's editions lately because it's always fucking. You know what? It is 9 times out of 10. Like perfect example. I got the collector's edition of the original Assassin's Creed when that came out, and it was like, it comes with an Altair figure, and I was like, cool, comes with an action figure, and this thing is like a gumball machine figurine. It is like maybe an inch tall, possibly, with standing on a phone book, maybe.
Did it come in a little doll?
Let's think about how many people were duped by the Halo 3 Master Chief helmet that everybody thought they was going to wear on their heads and shit.
Yes.
It turned out to be the size of a fucking golf ball. Oh, I was laughing at people that bought that.
Yeah, me too.
I always imagine that products like that, if you look very closely at the SKU, in the barcode, it just says, fuck you.
Probably what it translates to.
I still say one of the very best box sets, like as far as collector's editions go, is the Lunar collector's editions 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
on
perfect
PS1.
example of how you do it right.
Yeah.
Put it this way, like when I was sitting there talking about working designs being the shit, they were doing the limited edition collector's edition shit before anybody had a twinkle in their eye thinking about it. And they were doing it as like, this is how it is all the time. Fuck you. This is how we roll. We're gonna have our shit primo. You're gonna feel special when you buy it, and it was fucking awesome. And I don't know. I still have both of mine. The Lunar 2 one is the one I actually got for Christmas one year, along with the Game Boy Color. And that was just like a super awesome day. Also, I didn't go outside that week. It was awesome.
Oh, dude, those games are fucking amazing. I mean, I think the only collector's edition that I wasn't mad about buying this generation was probably the Castlevania Lords of Shadow on the PS3, because it's actually really sweet. It's like a book. Comes in like a book with like just really good art in it.
Shame about the game itself, though.
I really like that game, man. I can't help it. I don't know. It's one of those games that caught me off guard. It doesn't feel like a Castlevania game, but it's long as shit and it's fun. So that's not, you can't really say that a game's fun a lot of times nowadays. So, but I had a lot of fun with that game, enough to beat it twice. So that must mean something.
You must have been really bored.
Yeah. Well, I haven't beat it in a while, so you might be right.
Yeah.
Here, there's one. Okay, I talked about one good collector's edition. I'll tell you about one really bad one. One really, really, really fucking bad one. And that's for Dead Space 2. If anybody was ever unfortunate enough to just be duped into purchasing it, you got to see what looked like it was going to be a real-life plasma cutter. And that's the main weapon of Mr. Isaac Clarke throughout the series, and also one of my favorite weapons in a video game. I just think it's very fucking cool, and I'd love to have one. Yeah, well, they depict it as something that you can hold and everything, and it lights up. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. When you get it, it's literally like something that you would get out of a fucking Happy Meal.
It's a ton.
But you paid a lot of money for this fucking piece of shit. So it fucking sucked, donkey dick. And what's ironic about it is like the day before that they released the game, they announced that they were going to have real life, full scale like replicas made of metal and steel and shit that lit up and that looked like the real deal. So it was literally like them taking a big shit right on everybody that was dumb enough to fucking buy it, like me.
Yeah. And there is one thing I want to say. Fucking EA. Just since you were talking about Dead Space. Who's been an idiot enough to buy any of the what they call limited editions?
I haven't bought a limited edition from EA ever.
I try not to buy EA stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, wait, no,
what I'm getting at, don't you?
I try not to buy stuff.
That's because you're Jewish with your money. That's why.
Hey, wait, you're the racist now, motherfucker.
I'm anti-Semitic. No, I'm not.
Great, now we really can't be on that guy with the glasses or retroware.
Oh, it's all right.
Don't.
Yeah, because then they'd actually have something interesting to watch. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, our foreheads aren't high enough, and we don't wear enough train conductor hats, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's true. No, but EA, they're very good at saying, oh yeah, if you buy the limited edition of the game, which costs an extra £5, you get 2 DLC cars that you have to put in this code, and then you have to put in a secondary code because it's EA, and we want to make sure that you bought the game legitimately. And all it is just a bit of paper with three files that are already locked on the disk.
Yep. Every time.
Hey,
The thing I hate more, I think, even than that, is when you get a bonus disc, but the bonus disc has a bunch of like featurettes and videos that were already released for free on GameTrailers.com like months ago. You know what I mean? And that's your bonus disc. Hey, here's a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff that you've already seen. Like, okay, if I'm that big a fan of the game, I've already looked at this shit, so it doesn't matter.
Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger. They released a Blu-ray and a DVD. In the PAL regions we got the DVD, but they also released a Blu-ray for the Americans, and it was Jessica Chobot teaching you how to play the game, and that was a pre-order bonus
Because she knows all about it.
because she knows everything about bloody Blaze Blue. Yeah.
I gotta ask Saint Magnus, what is the last Vita game you actually bought?
Actually, I bought Ridge Racer, and I
How many
paid
games?
£10 for it,
Ridge Racer!
and I paid £10 for it.
Had to be done.
Well,
Had to be.
it was £10, so I thought, fuck it. I've not got a Vita game that I'm playing, and to be quite fair, I've had it over a week and I've not played it. It's just crap.
How many games do you have on it?
3.
3, yeah.
And
That's probably 3 more than most people.
3 more most people would actually go out and buy, to be fair, because there isn't that many games that people would want to buy for it. I know there's Gravity Rush, I know there's going to be Persona Golden on there, but that's fucking taking its time as it is, so...
There's so few testimonials for the PlayStation Vita. There really is. I mean, it's like, do you enjoy your PlayStation Vita? Yeah, I use it all the time. It's been holding down them papers every day this week.
Strong wind blows by, it stands firm.
It does. It does. And
That's,
you know what? Hey, gyro controls on top of that. Yeah.
that's pretty much basically all that fucking thing has become is a paperweight. You know, my DS and my PSP get more use than that thing.
Man. And you paid a shitload of money for that fucking thing, too. You probably paid even more over there.
No, I didn't.
Fucking...
No, he got it free.
I got it.
Oh,
free.
did you get it free?
I got a free paperweight from Sony.
Yeah.
Yes!
Hey man,
Nice.
at the very least, you know what? If they were giving out PlayStation Vitas, I would definitely own one. I just
Yeah, I'll take it for free.
yeah, it's like, you know what? If it's free, yeah, totally, I'll take it. I probably won't get much use out of it, and I might use it for an alarm clock sometimes. But yeah, I
That
might
says
think
a
about
lot.
playing games on one.
I might use it to hold spent bullets.
I think it says a lot that you got it for free and you still feel ripped off.
It does feel cheap, actually. It is pretty cheap.
Dude,
I don't like the back touch panel whatsoever, and it just feels stupid. And if you're playing a game where it requires it and you can't get a comfortable grip on the own fucking thing, what's the point?
Dude, that back panel is never going to get utilized. That's like them having the quote-unquote the 6-axis in the PlayStation 3 controllers, and people are like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, turn the controller in every other direction. I'm like, this is fucking retarded. 1 year later, wasn't used ever again.
And pretty much after Heavenly Sword, they pretty much were like, yeah, let's not do this anymore. Let's the 6-axis shit.
Dude, it was fucking retarded. It was like, look, I mean, that's cute and all, but how about you just cut it the fuck out? Seriously, that's no.
Well, I can't remember any games that I've played that have been new this past couple of years with that fucking 6-axis. That's just another fucking pointless bloody add-on to the console, which shouldn't even be on there.
Oh, we don't.
Dude, that's
we don't
what I'm
need
saying.
Rumble. We don't need Rumble. We got 6-axis.
Oh no.
Yeah. Fuck all that rumbling bullshit. You could turn the controller and it's like real life or something. Oh,
Yeah. And you know that stupid leaning shit you always do? Now it actually does something.
And you accidentally veered off a cliff. You fucking schmuck. Damn.
You don't know anything about driving a car with your shoulder. Anyway, that was, we had a real good talk there just about Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. I'm glad that we, made sure to stay on topic. It's very important.
We had a good conversation about collector's editions as well.
We did it. We did indeed. And I'm glad we did. We'll have many more discussions like this in the coming episodes. But now it's time for halftime.
All right.
What happened? It already. I mean, we're already halfway through. Time flies when you're telling people to fuck themselves. I mean that honestly. I mean that sincerely. And you know what? I want to take some time right now to address all the collectors and those out there who are big fans of games, those who buy your games in the used market. I want to offer some advice because I went to the flea market this morning to look for games. And I want to offer advice to any of the resellers out there, at the flea market or whatever. A really good way to not sell any of your games is by putting them underneath your big sweaty ass. I just wanted to share. There was a guy selling games, had a big sweaty ass, and he sat on a bunch of games, and I didn't want to buy games from him. I just thought I'd share.
Understandable.
Was it? No,
Yeah.
Are we talking like fertilizer ass or?
I didn't get close enough, but this dude has sweat rings in a jacket, so
God, it's always nice when when they're really fat and they're so fat that the shirt pulls up too tight, so it's way up like a big short shirt, and then their pants are way too low, right? So you get the nice little pools of beads of sweat on the mustache, basically, the fucking butt stash, which is always attractive, highly attractive.
And the fact is, nobody wants to see man fupa. So we try to avoid that at any and all costs. It's just a terrible thing, and you need eye bleach afterwards. So.
I already do. Thank you very much, Alpha Omega Sin. I have to go die now.
Sorry about that.
I'm sure that'll make a lot of people happy, though, if I went to just go die. So, either way, everybody gets what they want. You know what? How'd you like that? We're here in halftime talking about whatever have you. And it's time for the Hate-Bit BallBag. And this week, the Hate-Bit BallBag is brought to us by the A. Salieri Shit Cube lunchbox. Because people insisted that we pick them up as a sponsor. So the A. Salieri Shit Cube lunchbox. Buy one, won't you?
And they're not getting a dime.
Exactly. We get another piece of mail here at Gmail. Comes from Elder of Mars, and Elder of Mars says, "Hello, you hateful horn masters. I was playing King of Fighters 13, a very badass game, and then I looked at my copy of the Metal Slug Anthology. This got me thinking, is this all SNK still has? Sure, there's Samurai Showdown, but it barely has any relevance within the modern industry. If you could bring back or revamp any SNK franchise, which one would it be and why? P.S. You guys kick large amounts of ass." I think that there's a lot being overlooked in the SNK catalog. I don't really think they projected very much, though. I think that's true, that they... outside of King of Fighters and Metal Slug, they haven't really made any attempt to make any sizable dent in the industry. Am I mistaken in believing that?
No, you're not. I wholeheartedly agree. They've stuck to known franchises, and they have pretty much refused to branch out other than whoring out the various ROMs onto like PSN, Xbox Live Arcade, and things like that. Meanwhile, they have a really, really bitchin' catalog, a back catalog of games, especially unknown titles that they could be capitalizing on and getting a new audience invested into it and turn it into something that would definitely benefit them in the future as far as money goes. But
SNK just seems like it seems like SNK is the only company that is just satisfied with being like a down market, just sort of extremely small market, extremely niche developer, and they seem perfectly fine with that, basically. And then when they try and make something a little bigger, like with that that god-awful Samurai Showdown 3D fighting game that was like a rip-off of Soul Calibur, came out like a year or two ago, it just turns out terribly. It just does not end well for anyone involved. So I don't know. I almost prefer them to remain smaller market in that regard.
I can name one game that I would love to see them really like throw out there big time, and that's Beast Busters, which went from being just an arcade on rail shooter into an RPG on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. It's really fucking awesome. Like both games, like the first game, the second game, and the RPG, all of them are really good. And it's, obviously the RPG had a horror theme to it. It was very fucking cool, had great control. Graphics were really badass considering it's on a little 8-bit handheld. But I would love to see more done with that, just because I don't know, I liked all the stuff. Anything that's got some kind of fucking monster-related bullshit and blood and gore and guts and all the other shit, it's definitely going to get a thumbs up for me. So more of that, please.
Yeah. I want to see a sequel to Last Resort.
I want to see them just take the Samurai Showdown series and apply what they've done with King of Fighters, like with the art style and everything, apply that to Samurai Showdown, and give us a new Samurai Showdown game. That's all I'm asking for. Jesus Christ. I don't understand why this is a fucking special order. I'm not asking for a tongue in my ass. I'm just asking for a new fucking Samurai Showdown.
Although you would like that.
Although, yeah, it's always
If he could have both, then and only then will he be truly satisfied.
Put your hands
That would be a
together.
good collector's edition.
I was going to say that's an idea for collector's edition.
A game and a tongue in your ass? That's almost too much. I mean, that would be really expensive. That'd be like as much as if they had to put a leather jacket in it or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people have actually bought that edition of Resident Evil 6.
What do you mean, you people? You know what I need? I need another King of Monsters game.
Ooh.
Am I the only one? I mean, it was a wrestling styled fighting game, but in the tradition of Rampage.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game.
It reminded me of the newer Godzilla fighting games from last gen. Reminded me of like just 3D adaptations of that, just starring all the Godzilla monsters and other random characters that tied into it. But yeah, I would be all for that and then some. That would be fucking cool.
No, absolutely. And I mean, there's no shortage. There's a bunch of great SNK stuff, and they need to pull their fucking heads out of their ass.
I want another Metal Slug.
Yeah, as soon as
the
they make
Metal Slug would be good.
Create, they'll hopefully make something different.
Oh god, they best not actually, because if they do, they'll probably turn it into Call of Duty.
I mean, Metal Slug 7 was really, really badass, and I liked it a whole lot, but considering the fact that we haven't seen it like just a console version, like a console-only Metal Slug, I would like to see one with, you got to see what the new King of Fighters games looks like. They, the sprites look much nicer. They're extremely beautiful. Well, imagine if they applied that much work to the sprite work in a new Metal Slug, and then just put on to like a much bigger scale. I'm talking like 20 stages, and up to like 4-player co-op and shit. Online or like in person, just going absolutely ape shit. You could have flying fucking jets and tanks going everywhere, bosses that are gigantic. You could have verses. Like it's an endless fucking sea of potential. It's just never invested properly for whatever fucking reason.
Well, see, I've played all the Metal Slug games. I've always felt that Metal Slug 3 has just completely destroyed all the other games. So like every other game is compared to that one because that one was so good.
I don't see much difference between them. Me and my video editor played through like every Metal. We got the big anthology and played through all the games. I don't know. I didn't see a huge difference between titles.
Graphically they're not that different, but you'll notice that 1, 2, and 3 control slightly differently.
Yeah. There's a big quality dip after 3, like 3 and then 4. 4 just kind of reused all the assets from the other games. It was like a cheap knockoff game, and 5 was also kind of weird too. But
well, number 6 actually introduced the ability to change out your weapons, that possibility, which was not available in previous games. So I thought that was something neat that he brought to the table. It also was able to use some pretty interesting 3/4 perspective graphics too, which was new to the series.
Oh,
but we're talking about Metal Slug. Everyone knows about Metal Slug.
We put it this way: we heart Metal Slug. We want to see more of that, but again, SNK, you have too much fucking potential just laying around, not being utilized, and franchises that should be big time success stories, but you just don't seem to either care, notice, or you're just like, nah, these ones work, just these couple. We're good. We're good.
You know what? Why not a brand new fucking Ikari Warriors game?
I was just about ready to say that, man. Like, what the fuck happened to that series?
Everyone's stealing on this podcast. This
I've
is
noticed. Call the cops. Call the cops.
we're stealing ideas through way of the brain. This sounds like a Wes Craven movie.
Ugh.
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 But anyway, yeah.
Continue the
there should be
on.
more. There should be more coming out of SNK Laboratories. I insist. We got another piece of mail coming to us at the YouTube inbox, and it comes from Synthetic Blood, and Synthetic Blood says, "Hey, motherfuckers."
Hello, asshole.
Which is, as far as I know, is the best way to begin, a letter you want people to read to make people think you're cool.
Right.
So, and we thank you, Synthetic Blood. He goes on and says, "Hey, I had a question I wanted to ask you guys, obviously." He says, "I was wondering, what is your favorite Simpsons game, excluding the original 4-player beat-em-up?" Well, that didn't make it very easy. I'm going to go with mine. My favorite is the Simpsons Pinball Party by Stern. Yeah.
I'll go with Simpsons Hit and Run, because it's not all that bad of a game, despite it being a blatant fucking ripoff. But yeah, it plays well and it looks well. So
it is a good game. I think that was the first PS2 game I got when I got my console, actually.
Yeah, honestly, it is a good game at what it does. I can't imagine anybody's going to say Simpsons Wrestling unless they're pure fucking insane. But
damn it, you took mine, man. You took...
and we found the one guy who managed to escape and ditched a fucking damn, now I can't think of straitjacket. That's it. Haha, brain fart and everything like that. It doesn't work when you forget words.
Oh man, the Konami Simpsons arcade game.
Yeah.
Come on.
He says we can't mention that one.
He says we can't use that one. That was a stipulation.
Okay,
yeah,
sorry. I'm extremely good at listening. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bartman. For NES, man.
Oh wow.
Very nice.
That's a good game. No, it really isn't. But it was one of those situations where my friend totally bought it, and he's stuck with it, so we have to pretend it's a good game. So
yeah, you gotta play it, otherwise you have to go outside.
Yeah.
Fuck all that noise.
Let's keep playing this. This is getting good, right? Like the self-deception of early video game
You're
purchases.
hoping for the best.
Exactly. Incidentally, is how I wound up actually beating Double Dragon 3, just for the record. So
it's like, fuck, is either this or outside.
You have 10 times more fucking patience than I'll ever have then. I can't do it. I can't do it, and I refuse to do it. I just won't. It's the end.
I agree. That's where I stand on it.
It's
just not worth the pain. It's not worth the agony.
No,
that is true.
I would have to be paid, or possibly at gunpoint, and even then, I think that I could take a bullet better than I could sitting through the entire game. So.
I'll have to.
That's a pretty bold statement. Take a bullet more than you could take a game.
So long as they aren't shooting me in my face or my dick, I'm fine.
You, sir, are a trooper.
Yeah, I'm being honest. It's like, okay, you want to shoot me in the chest? Okay, I'm hoping you're not aiming at the heart because I'll be instantly dead. Face, obviously, that will just suck no matter what. Shoulders, legs, and all that. No, you're fine.
And if you shoot me in my dick, you take away my hobby. And to a man, a hobby is the most important thing.
No, you take away me, the man. You
Well, it
can't-
also take
can't-
away your income, with the gravy and so on.
Oh yes, the
Wait a minute.
the gravy.
the
Good
the
gravy.
Good
The-
gravy.
Good gravy.
My gravy.
Here's gravy.
Any other Simpson games we need to talk about? Because
Well,
Same.
there's some
actually,
stinkers out there.
the one I did enjoy, and it was that Simpsons game that they released in 2007 on absolutely every fucking system you could fucking think of at the time. Do you remember that one?
I do. I remember it
was-
being okay.
It wasn't that bad. It was good to pass a few hours.
Yeah.
Bad one, Bart and the Space Mutants. I didn't like that.
Yes,
stuff.
I was actually going to mention that too. Like as fundamentally bad and ridiculously hard that game is, I always find myself coming back to it. Like it's one of those like, is this game trying to beat me? Is this game better than me? Like fuck this game, I gotta beat this motherfucker. To this day, I've still never beat that ridiculously hard game. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh no, it's you need to turn everything red. What? And then you got to go and do certain different things on different levels. It's like, can you just have some consistency in the fucking game?
Well, yeah, the first one's like turning everything a different color, and then the second level you have to like get all the hats. It's like for some reason, so now they're like you have to find hats, and it's like what the fuck kind of acid trip is this game, man? Like it's weird, but I keep coming back to it. I don't know why.
It's exactly what you said. It's an acid trip.
It is. It's a total trip. And it sold really well. That was a really good selling game back in the.
Oh yeah, I remember. I had friends who had that game. Actually, dude, I remember playing it at a church video game night when I was like
What?
old, dude.
Wait, did you play Bible Buffet?
No, there were no Bible games. Believe it or not.
Ah,
Like Simpsons
you could have
game,
stolen
and
those. That'd be awesome.
whatever. So yeah, but I that was the first time I played Bart versus the Space Mutants or whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, good times.
Good time.
Good time. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
And
such a transparent ripoff of They Live, but whatever.
Totally.
And what's funny is, no matter how bad a Simpsons game you get put in front of you, it's no way worse than the last 6 or 7 years of The Simpsons. So that's an upside, I guess.
The last 10 years of The Simpsons, you are being
Okay,
racist.
well, I was trying to be generous, but all right.
Yeah.
I'd say lost 15.
Oh man, they've been rough.
The last 29 years. That's right. Back when they were on the Tracy Ullman show, it was shit. It belongs in the shit cube.
Shit's go.
No.
Anyway, that's gonna do it for halftime. That's all the letters we have, and so please drop us a line next week if we didn't get to your question. Please drop us a line, like I said, hatebitpodcast@gmail.com and at the YouTube inbox. Now we got to get with the second half of our show, because there's more to come. There's more to come, and something I got to talk about. I got to talk about this right now. Okay. I've been getting letters, in my personal inbox and so on. People saying, "What do you think about this?" For those of you who don't know, there's been a new Nintendo campaign for featuring somebody from the Olympics, some little girl, and her playing New Super Mario Bros. 2. And apparently the tagline is, "I'm somebody and I am not a gamer." And this has a lot of people's underwear in a twist for some reason. And I don't understand why. There's been a lot of assertions that, what I've commonly heard is people say, well, I thought Nintendo was trying to capture the hardcore gamer audience. A lot of people like to, use that umbrella, hardcore gamer, to, spearhead their own initiatives. And it seems to me...
It's an utter bullshit catch-all. I mean, it means
absolutely
nothing.
Well, and it's
I mean, if I'm gaming on a regular basis, I mean, people would characterize me as a hardcore gamer, quote unquote, because of my taste in gaming. But in terms of the actual time that I spend per week playing a game, there are some weeks where I might play an hour. So I mean, it's not like I'm hardcore sitting in a room in complete darkness, drooling in front of a TV all the time.
Yeah, I think hardcore gamer implies that you're unemployed.
It is. That is sort of the implication. Yes.
Or unemployable.
Exactly.
I think people are trying to say that the ad is suggesting that if you're a gamer, you're not anybody. It's kind of like one of those things. But at the same time, if you get that upset over a fucking ad, you're a dumbass. You know, like
Kill yourself.
kill yourself. It's a fucking ad. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you know this, but your TV's got a couple of switches. One fucking turns the channel, and the other one turns the fucking thing off.
Yep.
You know, but what I'm ultimately getting at here is it seems like, you know, gamer has not only, because for me, gaming is not my hobby. My hobby is collecting the games. Gaming is just something I do. I play games. That's how I entertain myself, and somehow that defines me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I find it's, you know, as Fist said, you know, just this catch-all term, and it's kind of like, how can I explain this? You know what, I'm going to sound racist right now, but if you go back to Nazi Germany back in the 1930s,
Oh my, here we go.
Hold on.
Any excuse to talk about the fucking war. We won it, end of story.
Well, I'm very happy for you. But what I'm trying to get at is, you know, a lot of the undesirables in the country were forced to wear identification markers. You know, homosexuals, for one, had to wear one set of markings. Jewish people had to wear one set of markings. And eventually they became proud of that which, you know, kind of marginalized them. And in essence, gamers have sort of become a special interest group in a sense. You know, everyone feels so...
That's the same mentality that any special interest group has, sadly, and that's kind of the irony of special interest groups. Is it's like, we're going to declare how equal we are by sequestering ourselves from the greater population and saying, we are this. But that's its own other hill beat.
We are going to instill equality by demanding superiority overnight.
This is true.
We demand domination because we said so.
Affirmative action. Sorry. But continuing on.
Yeah, how are things in Arizona anyway? No, but you know, I want to say that, you know, there seems like the term that so many people look to not marginalize themselves, to not be, you know, not have aspersions cast at them for whatever reason, are now just, you know, clamoring to identify with this moniker that essentially, or this description that means nothing. And now it's, you know, causing people to marginalize even further because, Razorfist, you brought this to my attention. Apparently, Republicans in some part of the country are... what is this about World of Warcraft? I'm sorry?
In Maine, there's a Democrat politician lady who's running for either state senate or just flat-out senate. And she's running, and so, of course, her opponents are mudslinging. They're looking for anything they can use. And they found out she plays World of Warcraft. And so they dug up some chat transcripts of her. This is the part of the story that a lot of people aren't reporting right now. The tagline that everybody's reading is, she's being attacked because she plays World of Warcraft. Well, it's not quite that simple. They're attacking her because of what she says while she plays World of Warcraft, because she's one of those people. And she says, like, incredibly vile, like, discriminatory things while she's playing World of Warcraft, and she says genuinely bad things. But it's like they're using that.
Was any of it involving Nazi Germany?
No. And okay, it's underhanded. Okay, it's a bit on the profligate side, but it's a political election, and okay, let's put this all in fucking perspective. Like, here's the thing, okay? I'm just gonna shoulder my political bias here, right here now. If this woman wasn't a Democrat, this story never gets reported. That's just a fucking fact.
Yeah.
If it's a simple, they're just kind of in the sort of fantasy world where all political conservatives are expected to act like the townspeople from fucking Footloose. The diabetes-inducing Candyland where Jim Sterling repeatedly gorges himself, as you can plainly see from this article. He actually penned. This is where I read it. He penned it on Destructoid. In that world, this story is newsworthy. It's a political fucking attack ad, people. They're all juvenile. Have you seen any of the presidential, like, political attack ads that are airing on TV right now?
Yeah.
They are without exception juvenile. Left, right, and center. Republican and Democrat. Libertarian and Green Party. It doesn't matter. They're political attack ads. Life sucks, wear a fucking helmet. But for Christ's sake, Joe Biden a couple weeks ago claimed that Mitt Romney wants to reinstitute slavery in front of a black audience. I mean, it's a political season. I hate that they're trying to wave the flag of all video gamers and say, oh, we're under attack, rally behind this woman, when it's just one person who's running for political office, who is exposing herself to criticism and rebuke, and who is receiving it, because it's a political campaign and that's what happens. So, anyway.
Well, and if you pay attention to mainstream media, conservatives have never heard of computers, so that's why this would never really be brought to light. It's true. It's true. Those people don't do any. Oh, well, we don't know anything about that. Oh, okay, that's why.
No,
this ties into why there's so little piracy amongst country music, because country music fans can't operate computers.
I say, fuck, man. I say host more attack ads, but rather than calling attention to her foul mouth online, call attention to her fucking abominable taste in video games. All right, more.
Yeah, fuck that whole policy thing. She's into Warcraft. She's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, but can I just add something to the fire here? Her character class is actually a horde rogue, so it's a role-playing game. So she's bound to be bloody role-playing as a fucking horde rogue. So what's the point? Why attack somebody that if she enjoys playing the game? Let her play the fucking game.
But again, it's the same reason. Why are we attacking Mitt Romney because he's a wealthy businessman? Why are we attacking Barack Obama because he's a leftist guy who is being leftist? You know what I mean? It's a political attack ad. She needs to grow the fuck up instead of reaching out to video game journalists and saying, please protect me and do my job for me. Oh, and by the way, do it for free because I don't feel like paying my own political action committee. So these gibbering fucking imbeciles are doing her job for her.
Good point.
Exactly.
You know what? I need to run for office or something, because apparently these assholes will work for free.
It's true.
Well, we do.
You're giving me all kinds of ideas right now.
Well, we do.
Yeah, well, see, exactly. Wait, yeah, that's not a good thing.
Mm.
Oh, well, shit happens. So, yeah, you guys, gamers have become a special interest group, and they're far too high and mighty. They're just like the feminists and the atheists, so stop it. That's right. I insulted the feminists and the atheists in the same breath.
Good on.
And that, and I did it with minimal effort.
Yeah, seriously, fuck your flame shields. Flame away, you leering pseudo-iconoclastic dipshits. I like mine extra crispy. Gimme. Gimme.
I like the way you folded with gimme. Flame.
Flame on.
Now, Razorfist, don't go too far away because we got to talk about this. You kind of spoke about it a little bit when we were talking about Cliff Bleszinski earlier on in the show. But what is this on, was it notenoughshaders.com, the discussion of the 10-year decline of Sony?
Oh, God. How could we even cover all this? This was an extremely lengthy article. It was penned.
I'm counting on you to abridge it.
It was brought to. It was actually written in early August, but it was just brought to my attention. One of my fans linked it to me. Lupacillo, I believe, who is a regular contributor.
And a regular hater of Sony, by the way.
Indeed. And it basically was one woman. Let me find her name because she really needs to be credited in this regard. Emily Rogers, one of the few really, really good video game journalists, actually, who's doing her job fairly well. And she basically compiled. Essentially, all the people who are saying, the traditional argument is, well, Sony's not doing well, and then what a Sony fanboy will fire back with is, well, it's a big company and they have lots of streams of income. They're doing fine. You know what I mean? That's always the retort. And this article basically itemizes why that's not the case.
Nope.
None of their divisions are making money except perhaps Sony Pictures, and even that, Sony is being mismanaged to the extent that the executives aren't really taking advantage of Sony Pictures in the way that they possibly could. They're not really taking advantage of any, opportunities. One of the things that really blew me away was their overheads. Like, when a company has lots of profit and small liabilities, obviously, there's going to be your maximum profit. Like, for example, liabilities they're just the overall cost of everything. All your bills, all the things you have to pay out, whatever. Electronic Arts, for example, has $2.27 billion in liabilities. Sounds like a lot, right? But their profit is so egregiously high that it doesn't really matter. Google's total liabilities, $21.33 billion. Apple's total liabilities, $51.15 billion. Microsoft, the main competition, their total liabilities, $54.91 billion, right? Sony's total liabilities, $135.61 billion.
Ouch.
It's ridiculous.
Like over twice the competition, the closest possible competition. And why that's bad is because their total assets, now this is the total profit and the total number of things that they own, is $166.22 billion, which means they have all of $30 billion to play around with at the end of the day. Now that's a lot of money, but 135 in the red before you get to see a single dollar of that 166 billion in profit that you're making. That is an unsustainable business model, no matter how you fucking look at it. And there's so much else to talk about here. I mean, with engineers that are openly, inciting company. They're like, for example, when they developed the PS3, they went way over budget. They were given a budget of X number of dollars, 400 or whatever, and they were way over it for months. And the entire engineering division at Sony hid that fact from Howard Stringer while they were developing the console. They wouldn't tell him because, in their mind, he's not an engineer, so he doesn't deserve to know. So consequently, they wind up selling a console that costs $800, actually a little more than $800 to produce, and selling it at a massive loss, and even selling it at $600, they were still taking like a $300 loss almost on every single console they shipped of the PS3. So just so much. You can't even touch. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg with this fucking article, though. It's unbelievable.
It's an amazing article, and just to look at the one that's really grabbing me right here, and watch, it's not going to load up when I ask it to. We talk about the market cap comparison as of September of 2012. It showed the date ending September 8th, 2012, whereas Sony showing a market cap. Now, mind you, shares at market close for Sony were at $11.64, up. Meanwhile, Nintendo showing shares at $13.81, down. The difference being that the Sony market cap, meaning how much money is being flown through that company on a daily basis, $11 billion. Yeah. Nintendo, however, at $15 billion. Sony, who owns fucking everything. They own television. They own, they have financial services, I'm pretty sure.
Motion picture divisions, TV manufacturers, everything.
And all that. Meanwhile, Nintendo makes Mario.
That's their whole business. Nintendo doesn't make TVs. They're a console manufacturer.
No,
and they've got $4 billion more on a daily basis being floated through the company. That's unbelievable.
And think about it. Nintendo is losing money and still making more money than Sony. I mean, we talked about this earlier. We heard that there was bad things in the PlayStation division, and I said, well, sure, them being assholes and what have you. But it turns out that the whole company, has completely sunk everything into this machine that you cannot possibly harness the power for.
And really, it hasn't been a very... And this is worth mentioning. This is something that really needs to be driven home. Even though the PS2 was successful, Sony has not really been a successful company since the 1990s. So even through the massive successes of the PS2, they somehow managed to fuck it up.
Well,
so it's like in September of 2000... In September of 2000, Sony's market cap value was $100 billion. In December 2007, it was $54 billion. In December of 2011, it was $18 billion. So they lost nearly $100 billion in overall value.
Well, don't forget, a lot of Sony's knows this. A lot of shaping your public image has to do with smoke and mirrors. Yeah. So, you can't say that this wasn't like a slow inward pancake collapse.
Yeah.
A lot of electronics companies kind of threw it, just threw sevens, or threw snake eyes at the wrong time. And it seems like Sony was trying to do damage control and apparently not well enough. I wish there was an explanation for this, but well, there is.
There is an explanation for it, but it's a long, meandering one that this article does a very good way of summarizing, actually. And,
tries their best anyway, because this. I'm pretty sure that this is a mile-long article, but very thorough. And things are bad for Sony, and you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. You know what? Because they're just gonna do what everyone else does: sue until you're back in the black.
Oh my. Yeah, that's what we hear. Yeah.
And so I guess that's gonna
Well,
be
Kevin
all
Butler
there.
will be their meat train, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know exactly how important Kevin Butler. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? The Shell Answer Man had more impact than Kevin Butler did.
Marcus
But anyway,
Are we finished with
I know.
Sony
And
now?
no offense to the Shell Answer Man, by the way. But you know what? We're getting towards the end of the podcast.
Already?
Oh, already. I mean, it's amazing. It's like I said, time flies when you're telling people to, perform home abortions or something like that. But in any event, you know what? We got a special guest, and usually when we have a special guest, they're the guest and they're the helper outer on the usual closing for the show. So it's time for my favorite part, your favorite part, the rant. And the rant this week brought to us by Leisure Suit Gaming's Silent Rob. Like I said, Angry Beard Magazine's Man of the Year. Rob, what are you ranting about this week?
Well, I'm going to be ranting about Resident Evil 6, and I'm sure we all have plenty to say about this fucking train wreck.
Run for cover, folks. Sorry.
Oh my god. I swear to God, when Capcom made this game, Capcom tried to make a game that tries to please everyone. And in the process, they made a game that pleases no one. This game isn't for anybody. It's not for the Resident Evil fans. It's sure as hell not for people that want a halfway decent action game, because it ain't that either. Okay, they made a game that's basically a shambling shooting gallery filled with more QuickTime events than fucking Assure's Wrath. A game that's all fucking QuickTime events. And, you go into Resident Evil games for different things. Some people go in for the horror. Well, you're not going to get that because that's completely gone.
Yeah.
People go in. Some people even go in for the storyline. I don't know why, because the story's always been fucking retarded in Resident Evil. But even in this case, they dropped the ball. The storyline in Resident Evil 6 is non-existent. It makes no sense. When you think about it and you look back on Resident Evil 5, if it did anything, it at least tried to tie things up in this convoluted universe that Capcom has created. So this game is grasping at straws like you wouldn't even believe. Making up characters that have no semblance to the universe whatsoever. Fucking Wesker having a son all of a sudden.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Like, this motherfucker has time to be fucking bitches and having kids. Okay? Give me a fucking break.
To be fair, he can Nightcrawler the fuck around wherever the fuck he wants. So he could conceivably Nightcrawler through a fucking wall into some whore's room and impregnate her in 3 seconds. It's possible, is what I'm saying.
I mean, this motherfucker is fucking Neo, fucking flying across the room like Matrix and shit. So yeah, he could possibly pretty much do anything he wants at this point. But it comes down to Capcom just doesn't know what Resident Evil is anymore. If you thought Resident Evil 5 wasn't Resident Evil, you haven't seen shit yet. I mean, when you play this game and you actually look fondly back on the days of not being able to move and shoot at the same time, then there's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? When a company can't even get the basics of moving and shooting at the same time right, then they have no business making games at all. This game is an absolute fucking train wreck. And I've had a lot of people tell me, they're like, but Rob, it's long. There's 4 campaigns. There's so much content. I'm like, motherfucker, 4 times 0 is 0. Okay? You got you got a whole bunch of nothing. I would rather play a short bad game than an extremely long, never-ending bad game. And that's what
it's totally like a situation where it's like, hey, well, we have outfits on sale, 2 for 1, and it's like, yeah, what are they? Well, they're shirtless leisure suits, sleeveless leisure suits. Like, no, 2 of shit is shit.
Exactly, and that's what it is, man. It's shit, and people are defending this game, and there is nothing here to defend. I mean, people can say all they want to say about how archaic the older Resident Evil games were, but at least they have some kind of identity. Resident Evil 6 doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be. 1 second it's trying to be a horror type game, failing miserably. Next second it's trying to be a Call of Duty type fucking over-the-shoulder shooter, and it's failing miserably. The next second it's trying to have like this movie set piece, Michael Bay on a fucking coke binge shit, and it's failing miserably. So it's like, what the fuck does this game want to be? It isn't anything, you know? I mean, it makes games like Dead Space look scary in comparison, you know? And it's an absolute joke. And I went back really recently, I actually just started playing Resident Evil 2 again. And you play this game and you're like, what happened to this series? Like, what the fuck happened? You know, and that's like one of my favorite games of all time, probably Resident Evil 2. But yeah, like Resident Evil 6, and I mean, here's the point where you guys can take off and give your thoughts. But I pretty much at this point wash my hands of the Resident Evil series. I mean, this is the final straw. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, for me it was 5. I mean, I can't understand how anyone could stick around after Resident Evil 5. That game was dick, and the problem was it sucked ass through a straw. But it was the thing that made me really mad was nobody would say it sucked ass through a straw for the longest time. It didn't. The negative word of mouth for that game didn't build until like a year and a half later. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. It was everybody was convinced it was the second coming of Christ, right up until like early 2011, late 2010. It was fucking retarded.
Exactly. So, Alpha, you have the game, man. What do you think, man? Like, what are your thoughts on this disaster?
I mean, I read the reviews like everybody else, and I played the demo like everybody else. So I'm expecting, you know, pretty much a train wreck into my crotch of the worst kind, and it's just going to billow fire forever. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I just got started on the game. I just got through Chris's campaign. I started with his because on the demo, his was the worst. And I was like, I have to get that shit out of the way first. You know, and I don't want to be one of those people like, yeah, I didn't play the game, but I'm going to be judgmental of it. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play the game so I can legitimately tell you it's a piece of shit or it fucking rocks. I don't get why everybody hates it. And I can say this, the game, as Rob said, doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be, and that's really the truth. It's trying to be it's trying to be a jack of all trades and the master of none. Master of unlock picking joke, maybe? I don't know. Fuck it. But
yes.
Yes.
The thing is, you know, I played through Chris's campaign. I'll tell you this. It is a fucking shooting gallery, a mindless, boring shooting gallery that I didn't give a shit except for 2 different sections. I talked about it before we started this podcast. I'll just mention them real quick. There's a part where you go into City Hall. That area is fucking awesome. Very creepy, very moody and everything. I could have done without the entire fucking thing of squad members, which I didn't want there because all they were fucking fodder. Kind of like the characters in horror movies you know will be killed. That's what they were. I was like, you're fucking useless and you're just meat shields. Get the fuck out of my game. Exactly. But other than that, that area was fucking awesome. The enemies showing up awesome. And there was a part where you're on this big fucking like tanker boat and shit. It reminded me of Resident Evil Revelations. Very fucking scary, tight corridors, fucking the monsters they introduced in that area, very scary. Guess what? The rest of Chris's campaign is fucking garbage. Goddamn fucking garbage.
Did you get to the the Call of Duty Black Ops fucking moment where you were on the freaking the what are they? The freaking snowmobile going down?
Oh no, that's in Jake's game, I believe, or his campaign rather.
Oh my God, what is going on?
Dude, I watched fucking trailers, or not trailers, but I saw gameplay footage for it. And the thing is, like, I shit you not, everybody, I'm writing a fucking review for it, and it's going to be a, like, lazy fuck you, I'm going to just sit down and talk review, but I want to remember shit. And the thing is, one of the things that I say, like, multiple times throughout it, I even had to fucking, like, highlight it and backspace out of it, because I was like, I'm repeating myself now. I was like, the problem with this game is that it lacks any and all fucking horror. It's not scary at all. There isn't a single part of me where I was like, this is very moody, atmospheric and everything. Like, the parts that I was describing, like, are scraping the tip of an iceberg that should already exist. Like, they essentially are giving us a fucking ice cube instead of an iceberg.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
we're getting an action game, and it's not even done well. I don't know what the fuck they're really wanting to do, but I think that the game is too big for its fucking britches.
Exactly.
It just, I don't know, but I'm still not going to give a final verdict on it because I still haven't played through Leon's and Jake's campaign and also Ada's. But once I get through all that shit, yeah, obviously. But I'd say right now it's just very it's okay, and that's all I can really say about it. And when it comes to one of my all-time favorite franchises, I should never ever in my fucking wildest dreams ever just say it's okay. Ever.
Exactly, dude. And I love Resident Evil, man. And it's like I'm playing this game, and there's guys with grasshopper legs carrying knives or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I think the moment I saw the zombies had guns, that was sort of the moment where I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why is this in my console? Why is it turned on? What is going on?
Exactly, man.
Like, and it's through the entirety of Chris's campaign. It's just, what is this?
Yeah, and it's bad because, I mean, okay, Rob had even mentioned going back to the old Resident Evils and everything and just seeing such a drastic difference. And keep in mind, I understand evolution of things. That makes sense. Things change. Things evolve. Sometimes they dissolve. In this case, it seems like it's doing that because it's forgotten everything that made it into a successful franchise and is now feebly attempting to live in the shadow of a bunch of other successful franchises and just maintaining the fucking name rights. And that's it, to go and sucker in all the past fans and then trying to lure in other people with all the fucking glitz and glamour of a Hollywood fucking epic bullshit movie.
Yeah,
and it's not.
The watchword word for this game is placation. It is just, they are trying to get the old fans to shut up about how bad Resident Evil 5 was. They're saying, well, look, we gave you this, so just shut up. Take those table scraps and go in the corner and leave us alone. Because this audience over here, this Call of Duty audience, these are the guys we really want to talk to right now. So just get the fuck out.
And ever since that fucking stuff came up about the Resident Evil 2 remake, I mean, we fucking sat there, talked about it, and there's like all sorts of other shit about it. And when you see that Resident Evil remake on GameCube, which is one of the finest examples of survival horror ever in video gaming, I will fucking challenge anybody. Like, that is one of the best fucking survival horror games. And the thing is, I just think about it. I'm like, what will they do to fuck it up and muck it up and mess it up and piss on it and shit on it and throw up on it and light it on fire and then take the ashes and write fucking dumb bullshit with it? Like, I worry so much about it because, again, this is one of my all-time favorite franchises. I've been there since the beginning in 1996. Okay, it's 2012, almost 2013. And you don't want to lose long-term fans like myself and like Silent Rob and like Razorfist and like a bunch of other fucking people out there that have been following this shit, because once you get rid of us, I assure you, all those new clowns that you're trying to fucking impress, yeah, they're not going to be around for you. I assure you. They'll fucking leave you in a heartbeat.
I liken it, as far as analogs go, I liken it to, it's like a big plate on top of a, I don't know. Think of it like a fucking bird bath where there's like a column and then there's a big bowl on top and a bunch of water, right? Like the birds are the casual audience, right? And the hardcore fans of Resident Evil are the column of support.
Yes.
The more you like, you can get those casual fans, but you need to make sure that you build your core audience as well at the same time. Because if your core is too thin, then that bitch is going to snap in half and everybody's going down with the ship. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And eventually those casual fans, you know, they come and go. Because like I said, they're fucking birds in a bird bath. They don't stay there for any length of time. They're just kind of, whatever, that was cool. I'm going to take off, do something else now.
Oh, no,
so
they
it's like
away immediately.
You just gotta, at the end of the day, it's just, you have to keep your core fans happy no matter what. You really do.
That's it, man. I mean, and to put it into perspective, like Alpha said, the very first game I ever played on PlayStation was Resident Evil. It was
a lot of people first. I think it was the first game I played on PlayStation 1 as well, was Resident Evil.
Exactly. Dude, I rented the system. I rented the system from the store. I didn't even have enough money to get the system. I rented the game. and there was something fucking wrong with the cables, and like it made the screen bounce, and it was like you could barely even see it. It was all fucked up, and I still played through Resident Evil with the fucked up cables, loving every minute of it. And it's just, I look back on that, and I'm just like, I'm so sad, you know.
But then you play it with, you know, where it's supposed to play out, and you're like, oh, thank God, this is amazing.
And it's still amazing. Exactly, man. Exactly.
Dude, and what's messed up is about Resident Evil 6, and keep in mind, everybody, this isn't one of those situations where we're like, oh man, look at those reviews. I think I'll copy and paste their opinion and apply it to my own and then claim, you know, it's mine. Copyright, there we go, registered trademark and everything. No, this is something that I want to give a chance. And like I said, I'm still giving a chance, but based off of what I've seen right now is there's too many instances of them doing something wrong, and then when they do something really good, it doesn't last long enough. Yeah. Like those two things that I mentioned, okay, is City Hall and that fucking boat, that big ass ship. In Chris's campaign, mind you, that's the only part that I completed, but those two sections are really fucking cool, and I think that they were really good. And it's weird that one of the worst parts of Chris's campaign is what they used for the demo. That bewilders me beyond understanding. I'm like, it has the corniest fucking dialogue in it. It's got some of the most mundane fucking gameplay scenarios. It's really fucking stupid, and that's what they use to show it off.
Every time, and like Alpha said, every time you start to get into this fucking game, it just pulls the rug out from under you. There's like a terribly implemented QuickTime event, or a fucking boss that you don't know how to kill. You don't even know if you're doing damage to it. It's bewildering. Like your progress comes to a halt so many times because of basic game design that is not fucking in this game. It's just not there.
Yeah. You know what's weird? They actually have a thing that keeps track of how many times you hit the action button. And the only reason why I mention this, and people that are listening right now, you might be wondering, where's Alpha going with this? Just let me explain real quick. Okay, the keeping track of how many times I hit the action button means that you have an all-encompassing universal button to do every and anything because the game is lazy.
Yep.
Because the programmers were lazy. You pumped in all this money, and I mean, like, keep in mind, this is Capcom's biggest fucking game. This isn't a fucking joke. This is their biggest fucking game, their biggest team, the biggest fucking budget they ever had for something. And for one of their biggest, if not their biggest, current franchise that they have going right now. And the thing is, you're getting a lot of people with mixed reactions, and most of those mixed reactions are coming from long-term fans.
Yep.
I mean, new fans, they wouldn't fucking know their ass from a hole in the ground. They wouldn't realize what they're shitting out of. They'd be like, wait, shouldn't it be coming out from that fucking garden gnome over there? I can't tell the fucking difference. No, they can't fucking tell because they wouldn't know any better. But us, yeah, we could smell bullshit a mile away. We can see when something is fucked up. And in this case, it's, you know, all the good shit doesn't happen enough, doesn't happen for long enough, and all the bad shit, it's just forgettable, mundane, boring, and it's just like, please get this over with so we can get to the cool parts. And you shouldn't feel like that with a game this fucking cool. Or
it's like the most lavishly produced bad game ever made. It's like the water world of bad games. It's unbelievable.
I don't know, man. That's pretty goddamn harsh.
Oh, dude, that's
no, it's like the John Carter of bad games.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yes, exactly.
Absolutely. Wow, that is actually a really good comparison.
I'm thankful we were able to slander so many properties in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I just want to have my 2 cents if I'm allowed to have that.
No.
No. Oh. Well, I kind of gave up on the Resident Evil series after finishing Code Veronica X. I thought the series ended there nicely. And then they've released spin-offs and they've released 2 titles since then, and it's just, I think it's just lost its magic. It's lost the fact that it was a cool franchise back in the 2000s. Now I think it's time that they should just put Resident Evil to bed and just leave it.
Yeah, but see, that was before they elected a new president over at Capcom. His name is Money, and that's who calls the shots now.
It's a Yiddish name.
Yeah.
It's a Yiddish name.
Money.
It's a family name. He was Shlomo Money. And wow, sad day over at the Resident Evil Ranch. No kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to stand by that statement that I think Resident Evil's had its time and it's time to put it to bed. Like Metal Gear Solid, they're starting to milk it now, and should be just put to bed and left.
Well, you can't milk something that's tits have shriveled up and fallen off. This is more like what's that called when you try at it and you're not sure if it's gonna do anything, but you do. Oh, praying. They're praying, and they're just hoping for good news. And I don't know if they're gonna get any of it. I really don't. But, sorry, a slight applause break over my blasphemy. Anyway,
Right.
it's happened again. You've wasted another perfectly good span of hours listening to the Hate-Bit podcast. We thank you for joining us. We really do. We appreciate your support. I'm Yellkaos, and joining me as always was the astonishing Alpha Omega Sin.
Thank you for stopping by, and wear a condom.
Ravishing Razor Fist. Razor Fist?
I'm sorry. Yeah, let's push the action button and end this episode. God fucking speed.
And everybody's going to keep track of how many times they push it.
Sainted Magnus.
Well, yep. See you next week.
And the man with the indestructible chin, Silent Rob.
I'd say a goodbye message, but I think we should have a quick time event instead. You know, let's
Press
put a
triangle.
quick time
Press
there,
triangle.
right
Now. Do it. Press triangle.
now,
Press
push
it.
it.
Do it.
We should
Do it.
over-
Press the A button.
And
It's something.
and if I didn't tell you already, I'm Yellkaos. We thank you for joining us. Remember that the revolution begins with you. You guys have been great, and we have been the Hate-Bit Podcast. See ya!
Bye.
Later.
Hate-Bit Podcast.